Green Lanterns issue 15, Sam Humphries writing, and Miguel Mendonca? I feel like Mendonca's...
Madoncha.
Yeah,
Good
Cha
job.
sound.
I'd do it as a ch.
Yeah, Cha, that makes more sense. Mendonca, yeah. Aye, Green Lanterns 15. This is a Jessica-focused issue that deals with her anxiety, and it's called A Day in the Life of Jessica, and we see her wake up, the struggle she goes through the day. There's some really fun stuff with her, like the Justice League call them into action because they're about to get pancakes or whatever, and it's like, oh no, it's time to go and save people. And there's a great moment where everyone else is busy, and there's a submarine for some reason in the sky.
Well, because they're fighting this big gold monster.
Yeah, well, I don't think I think that's kind of the point. Though it doesn't actually matter why it's there. The point is we get to this moment
Oh
where.
yeah,
Well, yeah, but you can see him holding it, and then
holding
they
it, and he throws
blast
it.
him, and he drops it.
Yeah.
Throws
But
it,
what I'm saying is the monster isn't important. Like who he is, why he's there, all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's
it's
important to
nothing.
why the submarine's there. You know,
But-
like
But the submarine's in the sky. It's going to fall on a building, and like Batman or whoever's shouting out, "Hey, Superman, someone catch it!" And it cuts and it turns the page, and you have Jessica doing what she can with her ring, trying to hold, and she holds it long enough that Superman and Wonder Woman can come and grab it eventually. But it's a great big moment for her. But the whole point of the issue is that she can do that whilst fighting through her anxiety, but then something small later on can set her off, and she gets scared with this goofy cowboy-esque villain.
The gambler.
The gambler, that's him. Because he's got
the
Word of the
fantastic
month.
monocle.
he's got a silly belt buckle and accent, and she says it's the smallest things that set you off, and she has a bit of a she freezes.
Well, it reminds her of her tragic, what set her off into not coming out of her room for a year. You know, it was something along these lines that ended up with her friends dying, and that's what she can't deal with.
Yeah,
And
but the point she brings though, it's the small details. It's not the big earth-shattering, world-ending stuff that sets her off. It's the small things, and I think that's a. I mean, I've never suffered from anxiety, but it seems like authentic.
Yep.
Authentic portrayal.
So going through Reddit, someone posted a thank you to Sam Humphries. About addressing this and giving it a face, basically, that it's not like what you see in the movies to when someone has a panic attack and they can't breathe. It is the little things that can set you off, and the best way to deal with it is through understanding and having friends and family just be there for you.
Joe,
And that's what I like.
Joe, I think shows that really well, actually, in the real world. I think there's a lot of celebrities who suffer from anxiety, but you never know it from, like... Stephen Fry is a good example. He does lots of TV shows where he's the presenter in front of an audience, and he's carrying a show, and he does that as if there's no care in the world. But then you find out he suffers from depression and anxiety, and it's like, well, but you go in front of an audience of hundreds of people and on TV and live, and you do all this, and none of that bothers you. But obviously it's the smaller things in the personal life that actually causes issues.
And that's the double-edged blade of anxiety. It's not always the big thing, just like with Jessica and Simon coming to her house for pancakes,
which is
kind of apologizing for being a jerk.
That's how
sorry,
it ends.
I didn't realize it.
He shows up at the house, breaking and entering. Quite frankly, he's basically a crazy perverted criminal, is what it is. Because she even points out that you're seeing me in my jammies right now. I was like, he's a pervert. He snuck in because he wants to see you in her pajamas.
No.
To be fair, she has a ring on. She could just go, all right, I'll uniform up if she really wanted it to be.
And she doesn't. She's
that was, again, that's her, to me, that was showing that she's vulnerable. I'm coming out and presenting myself before I'm ready because you're here for me.
Oh yeah,
But then
I was just cracking a joke about the breaking and entering.
I know.
I also think it was a step further as well, where she could put her uniform on because he's sat there in his, but she doesn't. It's like, no, it's fine. You can see me like this. It's like acceptance.
I also the idea that they're superheroes, but they still meet up on the weekends for pancakes. Like, again, that's Humphries humanizing the Green Lantern Corps more than I think we've had it in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think it works especially for these two because they are like just typical like cop partners.
Yeah,
like that's kind of what this is.
Yeah, this is actually if it's not my favorite issue so far, it's tied with the cookies issue, and
the cookies and the trick or treating. Yeah,
and it's funny because typically you would see these as the more filler issues versus the arcs with the superheroics and the end of the world stakes and all that. But for me, this book is much more interesting when it is the personal stuff in between, and it is these downbeat issues. Because even though there is catching a submarine and whatever else in this issue, that's not the focus. The focus is what Jessica's going through in this day, and then him showing up at the end is really sweet, and it is, I kind of get it, I can help in different ways, but I don't have to do this. You don't have to do this alone, and she even realizes that herself. I don't have to do this alone. I don't have to suffer alone, and it's really sweet. And we get that funny moment as well when the gambler's about to punch Simon from behind after Jessica's flown off, and in her anxiety attack, and he's sneaking up behind Simon, and Simon just punches him without looking with the Green Lantern ring.
It's the extendable boxing glove.
Yeah, from behind him, and he's just like, "Not today, dude." And it's a really funny moment. So
it is.
And then as they're eating pancakes, something huge happens.
We get the cliffhanger at the end of this issue, which they set up the next arc, which is Batman calls him. Batman actually is impressed that Jessica was able to handle herself in the Justice League. Because this is the funny thing about them being on the Justice League, and we often hear about her talking about how, the Flash sees me as this, Superman seems nice, but Batman's always, you imagine Batman's probably a really cold guy to new people.
Yeah, he's just really cagey.
But he's like, oh no, I'm impressed with how that happened. I need help that maybe only you guys can help me with, so come to Gotham. And he says, I'll leave the light on for you, and you see the bat signals on, which is a really cool little touch.
I like that he says the way you handle fear, so I'm assuming we've got some sort of Scarecrow arc.
Maybe, yeah.
Which I'm down for, because Lanterns and Scarecrow just go together, don't they?
And what I like about it is that it's going to presumably going to be smaller because it's in Gotham with a Batman villain of some kind. It might be a little bit smaller, and it's called Darkest Nights, I believe is the next arc.
K and I.
Yeah, it was a K, obviously. Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it, and it plays it like, oh yeah, look, here's Batman, but at the same time, I actually think it's a really good idea for an arc.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Well, I like too that Batman has showed up here, like when Phantom Lantern attacked, and he's watching it from the Batcave, and he's just criticizing Simon, like, don't argue with a crazy person in public because people will start to question which one's crazy.
Yeah, but he has a lot of experience with crazy villains.
Exactly. So it's been seeded out, and I like that. And I think his validation, is needed for Jessica at least.
Yeah. Because
he's the one that's keeping them at arm's distance.
Yeah, that'll be a big thing for her actually. If Batman turns around and says "good job" at some point, or that'll be a big deal to her. And again, it was funny when Simon's like, "Oh, not again! Pancakes! I get pancakes to eat."
I understand that pain. You don't like cold pancakes. You want them fresh.
But no, it was a really touching issue, focused on Jessica. Funny moments, and set up the next arc really well. So no, I like this issue a lot. So what a change from that first arc where we were kind of putting this at the bottom every week.
We were like, I kind of want to drop this, but the next arc sounds better.
Yeah,
I feel like he just had to get that Red Core stuff out of the system, establish it. Now he can kind of do what he wants.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, it's got to come back at some point, but I'm hoping by the time it does, we'll be so invested that it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'm already halfway there with Jessica, at least. I would like some more.
We do need some more Simon, I think.
Yeah, but I like Jessica more anyway, so I'm kind of okay with her getting a bit more focus.
Yeah.
I agree, but I feel like they've got, if they want it to play as a buddy book, they've got to build up him as well at some point soonish. They
do, but at the same time, I feel like I got just as much for Simon in this issue because he did make the because he realized and because he showed up.
Yeah,
it does a lot to his character as well.
So gruff, and he's so always has his guard up, and the fact that he can soften it enough and actually be there for her, is great. But I agree. I want to see more of him. That's not just his family. I want to see him like with Agent Fed. Again,
yeah, I want to see him dealing with obviously this is Jessica and her problems. I want to see Simon dealing with his.
Yep.